Why should I be so on tenterhooks in my own country? That weighed a lot on me. But way back then, when I used to get on stage, I'd say, where is it coming from? I should be able to get up on that stage and be happy and bring my happiness to the people. But I brought on that stage stress. I brought on that stage depression. Harvey Bay's always been home because my grandmother and grandfather was at Elizabeth Street. That's what I knew when I was born. Had a very, very happy childhood. Very happy growing up here because it was only a little fishing village. Everybody knew everybody. It was a lovely time and I had a lot of friends. I was one of three then. My sister came 14 years later. That's when I got my name, when I was a little baby. My mother used to say, Inky Pinky, Piddle and Stinky. So that name stuck with me, Inky part. So everybody knows me as Inky here. My grandfather, he was Indigenous. My grandmother, Annie Davis, was pure South Sea Islander. My grandfather grew up out at, he was born at Warra, out near Dolby. That's where we get our Cobble Cobble name. As I say, it was a happy time for me, but I always had in the back of there was always something there. It's like walking on eggshells in your own country because you didn't know where the racism was going to come from. I'll tell you, one time there was Ku Klux Klan or something was coming down and putting posters all over the place. And it was a big thing in the paper, you know, what is this, what is that? Well, that was scary. That was real scary. However, Hervey Bay, Maryborough people, we just all stuck together and said, you know, that's not happening. Because we always used to play football together and we used to, you know, muck around, drive around together, whatever. And nothing like that ever happened. But to me, at that time, when I was about 15, I'd say, that was very scary because I didn't know. My father, yeah. He said to me, when I had a young age, very young age, I can remember I was in my school uniform, little shorts and stuff like that, and he said, son, you got to be 3 times better than any out there. He said, you got to be 3 times better and you got to dress like 3 times better. And you always got to go out tidy. But I always remember that. You got to be 3 times better. And I've tried to do that. I've really tried to do that, to be 3 times better. Not better, I'm better than you or I'm better than you. It's with me. In saying that, why should I have to be? And that's a burden I take with me all through my years. My grandmother was the greatest person I've ever known. Very religious, really dark skin and white hair. And she used to wear white gloves everywhere and dress immaculate. And she just taught me so much. She was so brave in talking out about race. You know, when somebody'd say something in the papers, they'd say something derogatory in relation to Indigenous people. Her saying, you know, about the piano, you know, you can play the white keys and they'll play a tune. You can play the black tune and they'll play a tune, but you play them together and they'll play magnificently. That's always stuck in my mind and said, well, look, you know, why can't we get along? Why is all this, you know? And it was very hard for me, and I'm thinking back now, because it's very hard for me as an Aboriginal or half-caste. It was always in the back of my mind, something's going to happen. Is someone going to say something? You know, when you're walking down the street, or why should it happen? Why should that be? Why should I be so on tenterhooks in my own country? That weighed a lot on me. But way back then, when I used to get on stage, I'd say, where is it coming from? I should be able to get up on that stage and be happy and bring my happiness to the people. But I brought on that stage stress. I brought on that stage depression. It's not a good place. Yeah, well, personally, I got a job here in the railway as a cleaner. Yeah, you used to go in there and clean the bloody the diesels and all that sort of thing. I went there, but there's always one nasty fella, you know, and he was always my boss or some bloomy thing like that. But I left here because of that racism stuff. Maryborough at that time seemed to me very racist at that time. Today, I love it. Beautiful people. But so I left there and I shot straight down to Brisbane. Anyway, I got the phone call, yeah, come on in. And he said, start on Tuesday. I said, where am I going? He said, on the platform here at Roma Street. So that's where I started. It was an exciting time for me because I'd never left Harvey Bay. I'm in Brizzy, what the hell? And back in Brisbane, I could lose myself. I can hide. I was on Central Station. When I was going to school, I joined a little theatre and I was the hairy godmother. So it was Cinderella, you know. I was at the platform. I got transferred from Roma Street to Central Station and I was on the platform and the Cinderella that I was playing next to, and then she came through my ticket thing. I said, g'day. And she says, oh, hello, how you going? Bang, that's it. That was the start. And then we got married. So she was a Harvey Bay girl, I was a Harvey Bay boy, and went to school together and then went into the plays together and got married together. Yeah, my son Joshua, he had a chest things happening and the doctor told me that he needs to go to a drier place to get fixed, so I put in for jobs out west, like Western Queensland and stuff like that. And I got a job at Wallumbilla, stayed out there for 5 years. In the meantime, while I was back here, I joined the Army Reserve and in Maryborough 9th Battalion, got up to the corporal, full corporal. When I got a transfer back here, I got a transfer back to Isis Junction. And I came back as an ASM, so that was good. So it was a permanent position, it wasn't that I was relieving anywhere. One day, I had this urge. I wanted to play the guitar. I don't know if anybody would understand that urge. Like someone kicked me in the butt and said, play the blooming guitar, will ya? Oh, that's all I wanted to do. And I went to work one day and there was a station master on there and he was on relief there for 3 months. I said to him, oh man, I'd like to play the guitar, you know. And he said, you want to play guitar? And I said, oh yeah. He said, well, you go out to my car. He said, there's a guitar in there. By the time I got back into the station, he had all the dots and lines where my fingers are going, like E, A and D. And he said, you play them where your fingers are. So every time I'd stop strumming, he'd get to change. No, he said, keep strumming, keep strumming. Now for 3 months, every day, that fellow would come up, get that guitar, and he'd have different finger things like C and F and G and all that sort of thing, and B minors. And I learnt from him. And for 3 months, every day I'd go to work and he'd say, go and get on the guitar. I said, I've got to do my work. He said, I'll do your work. You just get on the guitar. I don't know where that come from, but you know, I love him. I love him. For a person to do that, I mean, where do you get that? I always tried to pass that on. I was married to my wife for 15 years. We had 4 boys, and we both agreed it wasn't happening. We were just drifting apart. And I believe it was from the railway, when I used to be away most of the time and then come back. And I'm coming back after 3 months to a house that I don't know, and I'm trying to fit in. She's trying to fit me in. And when we'd come back to Isis Junction, well, I was home every day. But it just sort of, we just split. We both knew, so it was good. She'd let me see the kids, no problem. So that was lovely. But when I'd see them, I'd be crying all the time because they're my boys, you know, they're my boys. And they're just, little fellas like this. That was sad. Me and my wife, me and my ex-wife then were comfortable. She had the kids, I was there, she'd ring me if they needed a good talking to. So that was good. However, it was the constant barrage of hate coming in within close quarters. Vindictive stuff, very nasty stuff. Something that I couldn't fathom how to fix. When you're isolated, the person that was very nasty, vindictive, would tell family, extended family, about how bad I was or how lion B and all this sort of stuff. And that went on for 3 years. Shaming and saying false accusations and stuff like that, and then spreading it. As far as I was concerned, she was spreading it. It absolutely crushed me. 3 years of hammer every day on the phone. I was working in the CES then. I'd ask the CES to stop all phone calls coming from that person. However, that person would say, "Oh, no, it's very urgent." So they'd put it through and back at it again. And it was not good. I was in the CES for 3 years, and that's where it happened. I then transferred from the CES to the Aboriginal Legal Service in Bundaberg. I stayed there for 18 years. My depression was so bad then.
There's 14 years difference between Jon and myself, or Inky as we call him. I've always known my big brother to be, the jovial one, the funny one, the quick-witted. That's what I grew up with. And then I hit my teens, and I think that's where Jon actually got his depression became more apparent to him. For me, I didn't really notice it except for, if we had family gatherings, he wouldn't be present, he wouldn't be there.
I wanted to come home. This is my home. I wanted to be close to where my grandparents were, and hopefully where I could find some friends. I already had 3 months off on deep depression, deep severe depression. It was so bad. Depression is a place you've got to be strong, because depression is all within. It's only you. As far as my mind was saying, there's only you here. There's no one here for you. There's no one. What I found was depression feeds off everything that you are scared of. Everything that you are worried about, depression comes in and says, this is 400 times worse what you're thinking, mate. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The questions. What are you going to do? When I came home, my cousin Jon, now me and him, we grew up together. We grew up together so close it wasn't so funny. Now he was getting married. He never got married in his life. I told him never do that again. So anyway, he was getting married in Brisbane. And there was no way in Hades that I would miss that. But geez, that was hard. That was hard to go there because everybody would be there. First time I hit there, and it took a lot. It took a lot. When I walked into that yard, I was so scared because I didn't know what that person said to everybody. When I walked in that yard, the first person I saw was my cousin, and she's an elder to me, and she came up to me and she said, "Welcome home." And I nearly cried because that was the best feeling I ever had, because I'm not on my own. I wasn't on my own anymore. That was the best feeling. Welcome home. Man, bloody awesome. Then that was my road back. My partner, Erica, she came back one day and she said, she was down in Brisbane at a conference. Erica's always asked me and said, look, you got to go and try and find your people. When you're walking around and you're black fella, if you meet another black fella you don't know, the first thing they say is, "Hey, who are you, brother? Where are you from?" If you don't know, what are you going to do? You feel out from there. So Erica's come home and she said, "You got to go out to Dolby and see Lilybell." Who the bloody hell's Lilybell? So Erica knew that I wasn't coping. I was getting there, but needed a bit of help. She said, "You got to find who you are, where from. Your grandfather's born out there, so you got to go out there and see what's going on." So we drove out there, coming into Dolby, and there's a Murray lady walking along the street. Murray being a Murray, you go and talk to him. Anyway, I stopped and I said, "Excuse me," I said, "Do you know where Lilybell is?" She said, "Oh yeah, she'd be up the RSL." So I went up the RSL, walked in the RSL and I looked around. Next minute there was a Murray one working behind the bar there. So I walked up to her and I said, you know where Lilybell is? She said, oh yeah, she's up the street, you'll see her. She's got this big white hat, beautiful colour dress, and all these kids. So we drove around for about an hour? And I said, blow this, I couldn't find her. So anyway, I said, if I go up this street, I said, and if I don't find, I'm going home. I don't know what you're talking about, I said. Anyway, drove up there. Next minute I looked across and there was this lady with the big white hat, beautiful, all these kids. And I stopped. I said, that's her, eh? And she said, yeah. So I got out the car and I walked over and I said, excuse me, are you Lilybell? She said, yeah. And I said, I think I'm your nephew from the Davis side. She looked at me and she was in shock. She said, you know, she said, this little fella here, he come into my bedroom this morning and said, he'll be here today. Grandma, he'll be here. She said, who'll be here? And he said, he just walked out and he said, he'll be here today. And I was the missing link. So then we all just, oh man, it was awesome. Like we followed her home, and as we were driving along, other Murray ones were running out of factories saying, hey, your nephew's here looking for you. Shame, eh, shame. She said, I got him. It went around like wildfire. Talk about Murray bloody telegram. So that was really nice. And then she told me the story of my family. I came back from there so strong. I was me. I knew I could, and it's so very important that if you know your family here and your roots, and you know you can go back, which I did, and I worked on country there. My son is still out there. And when they say custodians of the country, yes, that's custodian. We don't own the country. We're custodians of the country. We look after it. We don't own it. Nobody owns it. In there, that's what I've got to look after. And that's what I'm going to be a part of, because they came to me and made me help be a part of them. And that makes me so strong. So now, nothing hurts me. My grandfather's totem is the python. See on that photo at the back there? An old fella, 93-year-old, painted that. He didn't finish, he passed away before he finished. And see that big python he was going to do? That's my totem. I had a little shed at home there, and I was tinkering around with the keyboard and stuff like that. This was before backing tracks ever was thought about. So I had my little tape recorder, and I had it there, and I got 30 songs on one. I think it's 15 on one side and 15 on the other. And I went up to the Railway Hotel, North Bundy, and I said to the bloke, I said, oh, do you have any entertainment? He said, yeah, every Friday and Saturday. And he said, what are you doing next Friday? Me being cheeky. I said, playing for you. He said, all right then. I did play for him that night. 30 songs, deadly songs, they were all these old songs. And anyway, he come out after when I finished, and he said, oh, look mate, he said, I'll give you a 6-month contract, you know, for Friday nights. Well, that was good. So then that's how it started. It's gammon stuff, eh? Gammon stuff. Music helped me because I can express myself through music. I can tell stories through my music. I can, like my depression song, I can express it better through music than I could ever do talking. Telling them my story through music, I've had people come up crying and saying, thank you for doing that, because you have friends and stuff like that. So that's me giving back, but that's telling people we're all human here, come on. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white or brindle. We all go through the same stuff. And there is a way out. There is a damn good way out, and the passage is wide.
Music has been absolutely phenomenal for both of us. It has just, I don't know, it just gives me a sense of grounding. I just absolutely love performing with my brother. He's actually helped me so much. I tell him that all the time, like, music has saved me. So yeah, it's really brought us really close together. And he's teaching me, because I can't play a thing except for the clapsticks and a triangle, but he's teaching me, you know, all the ins and outs of it. So all the other things. So it's really good.
My advice would be talk to someone. It doesn't matter, but talk to some professionals. They know, you know, talk to a friend, talk to anybody. Just let it out. It's better out. It's way better out. It's a release. It's like tears. They release all that pressure that's built up inside you, and you talk it, or you speak it, or you sing it, or you do. It's a release. And it's the best feeling that you'll ever have, because you've told somebody. If you tell somebody, then that somebody can help or can steer you in the right direction or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I can say this now because I've been there, done that. You know, I hit rock bottom. It was rock bottom. Having funny thoughts and stuff like that, well, that's not going to help. You've got to get out there and have a yarn with your mate. There's no big deal, no big deal. He'll probably tell you a few things about him, and it's good to have a yarn with a good mate.
I just love my big brother, and I'm very proud of him. I think he's absolutely one of the bravest men. He's one of my heroes. Yeah, I just love him to bits.
See what I see, untangle me, feel what I feel, to understand me. Come sit for a while and just be. Listen to the colors of the world I'm in. Feel my hurt, feel my pain. Reach out and touch. No one's to blame. Hold my hand and you hold my heart. Stay with me till my world turns dark. 'Cause here in my room I can dream. Here in my room I can cry. Here in my room I can fly so high. But here in my room where I hide, I search for trust, but who but I believe? My feelings thrust, my body heaves. Come to me in my dream. Come to me, set grief free. Close my eyes, but I see the shine. It's just my mind playing its game. You tell me who I am. You tell me what I am. 'Cause inside my head, haunting phantoms in my lid. Shattered windows, doors slammed shut. Fanning shadows won't give up. Exhaustion comes over my mind. There's nothing left but to tranquilize. Feel a wave come over my mind. fly so high. Here in my room I can dream. Here in my room I just die. But here in my room where I hide. Here in my room, here